Welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the Almighty B Live, the Money Man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddie Cool. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. It's Tuesday, and you know what time it is. It's time once again for your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. You see all three of us. Let's wave, fellas. Hit them with the wave. That's right. Episode number 115 of the Sports Bros Podcast. We hope everybody had a happy and safe 4th of July weekend as I scratch my nose because it's itching. And that's what you're supposed to do. When you get an itch, you're supposed to scratch it. But that's neither here nor there. I hope all is well. I hope you didn't hold any fireworks in your hand and then blow your fingers off. You learn a lot from Jason Pierre-Paul. But with that being said, I got two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the Almighty B Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today that never gets old? I saw a lot of whoa, back it up, Terry. Moments yesterday. Man, happy 4th to everybody. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got my fill. My belly grew a little bit, but it's all right. I digress a little bit. I'm excited about this podcast, and then there's the other guys. So I mean, you know, it's always got to be somebody to stir the pot. So go ahead and introduce the other guy. You know.
Speaking of the other guy, we got the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, the one, the only, up close and personal, the Money Man, Scotty D.
God bless America, my home, sweet home. I hope you guys had a great 4th of July. I did a little bit of relaxing, eating, watching fireworks, but avoiding touching fireworks. And yeah, you got all your digits. I got all my digits. Yeah, I'm in good shape. I'm ready to rock and roll. Fireworks in the world of sports. NBA Finals is ready to rock and roll. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals is sweeping near the end. Eddie Cool, let's talk about this stuff, huh?
All right, enough of our incoherent rambling. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, as the Money Man Scotty D mentioned, the NBA Finals, it is finally here, okay? It is finally here. And the participants representing the Western Conference, the Phoenix Suns, and representing the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks. Fellas, are we excited about these here NBA Finals? Is somebody new or somebody different? What you think, Scotty D?
Yeah, that's the reason why I kind of am excited about it. We, like I was mentioned last week, how the NBA traditionally has been a transition thing. And once you get into the finals, there's a good chance you and or your opponent are going to be there for a couple of years. And this is brand new this year. Phoenix and Milwaukee, two teams that we did not see coming. Like I said, we may have picked Milwaukee a year or two ago, but started to write them off, so to speak, as they were in the shadow of the Brooklyn Nets. Mm-hmm. And Phoenix, I think we thought we saw an up-and-coming team here who's here. And it is exciting because it felt different this year watching the conference finals because we weren't really sure how that was going to go, and we knew we were going to get something different. And it could be this way again next year. I don't know that either of these teams are in the driver's seat where we say, well, they're definitely going to be there again next year. No, the NBA is kind of up for grabs, and it's kind of a nice little change of pace here. Impressive, I thought, for Milwaukee because, you know, Trae Young went down for Atlanta, and we thought, well, that's going to be Milwaukee's ticket to punch now. And then they came right back without him and kind of ran Milwaukee off the floor. And then they lost their superstar. So it's kind of both the superstars canceled each other out, but that is from the sideline. And I was very impressed with how Milwaukee was able to adapt and play without Giannis Antetokounmpo. I in the past been critical of Chris Middleton. I thought he was just kind of like a middling player who could play really hot and get real hot at one point and then kind of disappear in big times. And that dude stepped up bigger than I've ever seen him play in the time that they really, really needed to have somebody step up. He got hot at the right time, and he seemed to have a confidence about him and a leadership air about him that team needed while Giannis was out. B-Lab, did you see a little of that? Do you agree with me on that point?
Oh yes. And I want to go ahead and put this out there for the naysayers. I think Chris Middleton may have earned his $190 million contract. I'm just saying there's a lot of naysayers out there.
I said nay.
I was one of them too. I'm not
so,
gonna lie.
So, but here's the thing. Here's where you put your money where your mouth is. Does Chris Middleton step up the way he did in the conference finals? Does he repeat that performance in the NBA finals? That will be the writing ticket right there. If he does what he's supposed to do, Milwaukee wins in 5. But that's where I have to slow down a little bit, because Chris Middleton, we've said it before that he's shown signs of he's hot 1 minute, cold 1 minute. Milwaukee is by far the more talented team. Phoenix has the better chemistry. Devin Booker is Devin Booker. CP3 is playing inspired basketball. We are hoping, praying that he does not get hurt, because that has always been the story. He's never made it to the finals. Yeah. I'm praying, because it's just a feel good story. I want CP3 to get his title, and that right there will solidify his career. He really, honestly, he doesn't need one, but he does need one, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think he's already first ballot Hall of Famer. He has done. He's elevated every single team he's been on, and it would be nice. It would be nice for him to have one. I think that Milwaukee will get one with. I think Giannis will get him one. I think they're built for success for the next few years. Drew Holiday, I think, like, if they keep the same team together, that chemistry is going to do nothing but grow, and Milwaukee can repeat and come right back. I think they can contend with the Brooklyn Nets if the Brooklyn Nets are healthy, which we've seen the entire season that they have not. 13 games together with the big three. Only 13 games they played together. All three were on the court. Yeah, that's not a lot. So that's always going to be up in the air. But honestly, this is by far the best finals that we could have seen. It's two really feel good stories. It's not somebody like, if the Brooklyn Nets would have made it, it'd have been just, yeah, they build a super team. Mm-hmm. This is two teams that are like the Suns. We never even thought were going to be anywhere near this. They were below 500. Had to win 8 straight games in the bubble last year just to make it to the playoffs last year. And for them to come up and be the second ranked, the second seed, and what they did against the Clippers, even though it was without Kawhi Leonard, speaking of that, no asterisks. This is basketball. It happens. Injuries. A lot is going on. 72 games. I think that's the only asterisk you could apply, is that there wasn't a full 82 game season. It was 72 games. The whole injury stuff, no asterisk.
Yeah, because
speaking of injuries, though, but do we think, though, that Milwaukee can continue to win without Giannis? I don't know the extent of his injury. I don't know if he's going to be playing in Game 1. Milwaukee really now. I mean, no disrespect to Atlanta, but they were not the best team I've ever seen, and Milwaukee did get by him. And in the final game, in Game 6, Milwaukee. They had me puzzled in the first half. They're out there jacking threes, and in Game 5 they won convincingly with getting the ball down low. Brook Lopez had 10 dunks in Game 5, and in Game 6 they stay completely on the perimeter, at least in the first half. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you not go right back to what was working the previous game? Now they straightened it out in the second half, obviously, and played a lot better, but I still think you need a superstar to win an NBA championship. And it looks like Phoenix has maybe 2 superstars. without Milwaukee's superstar, are they able to win? And again, I don't know what Giannis's injury status is going to be in the first couple games. I mean, they said there's no structural damage, so maybe he comes back, but I don't know, even how effective he'll be if he does come back.
Yep. Be Live, you kind of I was going to ask that question, but you've already answered it. For the past few years, everybody's been saying, like, as far as these, these NBA championship games goes, you got one in the bubble, and they'll have one this year. The one in the bubble, they try to discount it because it was, a shortened season, an asterisk, if you will, doesn't really count. And they're trying to do the same thing to this year with injuries as far as the playoffs go. As B Live said, man, it's basketball. Injuries come and go, things happen. What's your take on that, Scotty D?
Yeah, I mean, obviously injuries were a huge story in this year's NBA postseason altogether. And again, that's leading me right to where we're at right now. Without Giannis, Milwaukee has to play. Probably they're going to have to be pretty perfect again. They're going to have to get the ball down low and make their 3-point shots. And if they're not falling, then their coach, who is it, Budenholzer? That's their coach's name.
Yep,
if their 3-pointers, if they're making 4 out of 19 and a half, at that point he says, we're going to get the ball down low. Or if you keep shooting threes, I'm going to slam your fingers in the car door. You got to do something if you're a coach to get their attention. You can't do that. You can't just do what they did the other night whenever you have a title on the line. And it was also to their benefit that Trae Young did come back and he didn't look very good. He was hobbled. So good fortune for Milwaukee again that while their star is out, the other team's superstar who generated a big chunk of their offense was not the same guy as he was prior to his injury. So I don't know, man. I was planning on picking Phoenix to win this thing before the show started, but I'm kind of talking myself into Milwaukee here just because of how strong they're playing. And Drew Holiday, as well as he played, I think defensively he was really important. And if he can defensively give Chris Paul some trouble, then Milwaukee's going to be the pick.
All right. So Scotty D, you say Milwaukee. Be Live. What say
I'm going
you?
to take Milwaukee. Yeah, I'm not convicted, but I'm going to take Milwaukee.
I'm gonna pick Milwaukee in 7. I picked Milwaukee in 7. The reason why I say that, again, I believe that Milwaukee is just more talented. Like Chris Middleton, like Devin Booker is Devin Booker. I think he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you his points. If he goes cold, it's gonna be his situation. Chris Paul. You think he's going to repeat that game? What was it, game 5? That or was it game 6? I think it was. I can't remember.
I think it was 6 when they played the Clippers.
The closeout. It could have been game 6, but yeah, he's not going to repeat that every single game. He's going to be a disruptor. He's going to be a leader of that team. I think he's good. I think he's good for 15, 10, and 15 points, 10 rebounds. He's not going to score 41 points. That was just absurd. But it's going to be back and forth. I think it's going to be a chess match. We don't know how healthy Giannis is going to be. Chris Middleton, I think he's going to step up. I think the last game that he played where Giannis got hurt, and even in what was it? I think it was game 4 against where he scored 38 points, 20 in the fourth quarter, and just went off. Like if we get that Chris Middleton each and every game, it'd be 5 games. But I don't see that consistent just yet. So that's why I'm going to say Milwaukee.
I don't think the Bucks are going to win this without Giannis at some point, even if he misses game 1. If he and they say he's fighting hard to get back to play game. If he's there from game 2 on, maybe I kind of like Milwaukee. If he doesn't come back, or if he doesn't come back for the first 3, if he misses 3 games, so I think I like Phoenix. You got to have your superstar to win.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's what I've seen too many times in this playoffs is that teams are trying to rush their star players back into the game, and they're more hobbled than anything. It actually ends up hurting the team because so it's one of those things. I honestly would let him rest a little bit more game 1, and let's see if we can keep that same chemistry in and see how that works against the Phoenix Suns. If it's apparent that chemistry is not working in game 1, then you at least have them a little bit healthier coming into game 2, and let's change the dynamic. Can you afford just to give away a game in the NBA Finals? No, but I think you do more harm if he's not actually ready, and when it comes to Giannis and putting him back in too soon. So I'd rather have Giannis in game 7 and have him out game 1 as opposed to having him in game 1 and out game 7 because I put him in too soon. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. So we all agree the Bucks, right? Unless Giannis does not come back.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. I'm not super convicted on it. I really am not.
Let's watch a couple of games, then we'll come back with a little bit more analysis and see what's going on.
Exactly. Then we can find out. Go ahead.
I was wrong last week. I said that last week when we were talking, I said that the Hawks had won their last game and then they won later on that evening. And I said that the Clippers had won their last game and then they won their next game. Now I was right that both of those teams, did not win their series, but they each won a game as soon as I said they're done winning. So what the hell do I know?
Yeah. A little locker room. They had us in their locker room. They were like, Glenn House, like, you hear these guys? You hear the Sports Bros podcast talking about we ain't gonna win another game? Yeah, they
bulletin board material.
Yeah, right. So they were listening to us, and they were like, nah, they don't know what the heck they're talking about. These 3 guys, they're just fans of the game. They're no experts.
They don't know anything.
That's true. We are not no qualified experts, fellas. But
I promise you, the amount of times that the money man Scotty D is wrong, boy, I got fingers and toes and hairs on top of my head that I can't count as many times that guy's been wrong. Jeez.
Blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about something else.
And speaking of something else, we're going to move right along to the grand opening. Could it be grand closing of the Stanley Cup Finals? Right now, we got Tampa Bay. They got a stranglehold. They got a stranglehold on the Montreal Canadiens as they lead the series 3-0. Fellas, is it all over with but the crying?
Yeah. I think B-Live picked a sweep. I picked them in 5, and it's 3-0 right now. So we're looking pretty good on that prediction. There's one more game left in Montreal, and Tampa Bay is putting the puck in the net. I said Carey Price was the reason Montreal was playing so well, but it seemed like he's getting outplayed. That Andre Vasilevsky from Tampa Bay is stopping everything. I think in game 3, Montreal got their 3rd goal on after pulling their goalie. They went with an extra man advantage to cut the lead to 5-3. But 5 goals, that's a lot. This is the time of year you ride the hot goaltender, and it just seems like Tampa's just too much. They're just too good, and they're going for a repeat. I mean, if Montreal manages to salvage a game and win in Montreal, they got to go back to Tampa. And Tampa's got fans. Montreal doesn't have many fans right now because of the virus deal in Canada. But there's just going to be too much to like. They're not coming back from 3-0. I'm not going out on a limb really, right, by saying that, but this one's over with.
Pretty much. Game 4 is tonight in Montreal, if I'm not mistaken. And if Montreal does win at home tonight, then they got to they got to fly down to Tampa, Florida, and face that. Yeah, I mean, you could hear a pin drop in the Molson Center, as opposed to the Thunderdome down there in Tampa, Florida, man, where it was rocking. It was rocking, jumping out the building, man. It was going crazy. All right, fellas, we're going to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson. She tested positive for weed, the marijuana, the cannabis, if you will. And she received a 30-day suspension, which means she won't be able to participate in her event in the Olympics, but I think she'll be able to participate in another event. Richardson, she has I got a quote from her, and it says, "I want to take responsibility for my actions," she said on NBC. "I know what I did. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I'm allowed not to do. And I still made that decision." Scotty, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, first, I will go ahead and give her credit for saying that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she got caught, so obviously she messed up. if you remember, one of the very, very first shows we ever did, I was talking about David Irving of the Dallas Cowboys, who at that time decided I'm smoking weed and that's all there is to it. And if I got to leave the NFL, that's fine. And he left the NFL. And then, as I predicted, he wanted to come back later on and clean up and all that stuff. Anyway, there's a lot of talk out there about this being a bad rule, that, we're getting to this to the point in life where weed is not taboo like it used to be. People don't look at it as a bad thing to do anymore. And you hear her getting a lot of support from people, even from the White House. Are saying, not a big deal. This is kind of crazy. She's in trouble for it. And I agree with those points. But the fact of the matter is, she knew that this was something you cannot do. You're not allowed to do it. If you go into somebody's house and they say, you cannot wear your shoes in my house, and you do it anyway, and then they kick you out of the house, you can't be mad because you're allowed to wear shoes in other people's houses. That's the rule. Yeah. If the rule says you are not allowed to eat Hershey's chocolate before the Olympics, and if you do, then you're out. I would say that's a dumb rule, but if that is the rule, you have to follow it to be on the Olympic team. Mm-hmm. So regardless of how you feel about whether you think weed should be legal or illegal, or whether she should or should not be suspended, the fact of the matter is she broke the house rule. She broke the rule of what the USADA testing was, the Olympic rule, and she's going to pay for it. And that's too bad, because this girl looked like she had the makings to be like a breakout star. She was kind of, she said FloJo was her idol, and she kind of had a little bit of that flair, and she was running some incredible times, and now she's not going to be able to compete in the individual events. There was talk that she might still be able to be in a relay event. I don't know if that has progressed to any fruition, but anyway, dumb. She was dumb. This was a dumb move. I mean, you mean to tell me you can't just quit smoking weed for the summer and then go win gold and then get all kind of endorsement money and accolades and become famous, and then you can smoke weed with Snoop Dogg on TV for all anyone would care after that? But all you had to do is just not do it. Just don't do it for the summer. That's all you had to do. I'm glad she owned up to it, but that was dumb.
Yeah. Be like, where you at on Sha'Carri Richardson and the weed?
Well, this is a rare moment that I agree with the money. I think all of us can agree that it shouldn't be a rule, because it's not enhancing at all.
Right.
Like, I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and say, we're a podcast, we're fans, and I'm just gonna go. I'm throwback. When I smoked the devil's lettuce, the last thing I was trying to do was run anything.
More like into the refrigerator.
Yeah, more like right. Run to the refrigerator. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, for that, maybe they need to I think what this is going to do is going to raise awareness to the rules. It's an outdated rule. Times are changing. Marijuana will be legal across the board, probably in almost every country, whatever. This is a world event, so it's still illegal certain parts in certain countries, et cetera, et cetera. This is a world event. The rules are in place. Mm-hmm. So
that's it. It was a rule.
It's a rule. It's unfortunate what the circumstances that came behind it. Mental health always comes into play, because I believe she had just recently lost her mother or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so that was what she was like, man. And of course, all of the weight that comes with being the star that she is, and being up and coming, and like being young. I know, Scotty D. I don't know why you're over there heavy breathing. Could you at least let me get one point out?
I know. Go ahead.
I know. I agreed. I'm getting God. Boy, I tell you what.
She could have got on the vodka. I mean, vodka's not illegal. Go drink if you're. And what I was reacting to was, I mean, yeah, there are some pressures that come with the position she was being in. And if she lost her mother, then God bless her. I feel for her for that situation as well. But you have worked your whole life. I mean, granted, she's young. It's not like she's been working into her 40s like some of us on this podcast are doing. But she worked her whole life. Was she 22? Okay.
Well, she's 20. She's 21.
21. So at this point in her life, she's been running, and probably been the best on every track she stepped foot on. And the only way she got taken out of this event is by her own doing. So again, I applaud her for owning it and not making excuses. You know, she immediately tweeted right after that, "I'm human and made a mistake." And it sounds like, according to what Eddie said, she's elaborated on that, going a little bit further. So good on her for that. I hope she learned. And hopefully in 4 years from now, weed will be legal and she'll be allowed to smoke it and smoke everybody on the track at the next Olympics. So hopefully that, or 3 years from now, whatever it's going to be at this point. But hopefully this is a learning situation, and she goes on to become a star and get some gold for the United States in the future. You know, I hate that this happened, but you know, it's lesson learned.
And there's still a possibility that she'll be able to bring some gold back this year with the relay race. So hopefully, like I said, we'll still be able to see her shine in this Olympic, and to be, I mean, go USA. Sha'Carri, hey, we wish you well. And the fact that she owned it, and the fact, like I said, that shows maturity. That shows that she's learned from it, and she's only going to get better and stronger because of this. Yep. So, and then also it's going to bring awareness to it. People going to be scratching their heads about this silly little marijuana rule in the Olympics and be like, maybe we don't. I get steroids, performance enhancer. Right. Other things, performance enhancer. Weed, relax.
Yeah, maybe if our world leaders all went to the Olympics and sat around and passed around the bong, we'd have a little bit more world peace. We might be in better shape. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. You might be right about that. But fellas,
Snoop Dogg for president.
Hey, 2024. Running mate Martha Stewart. Fellas, I also agree with the whole thing as far as like, hey, you know the rules, you gotta follow them. And just like as both of you said, you've worked for this point, you worked for this very moment all your life, all for it to literally go up and smoke. But she did, she, like you said, she did a great job in admitting, hey, I did it. I owned up to it by saying, I know what I did and I know I was supposed to do, but she went through it anyway. As a person who's lost their mother and a brother in a close amount of time, sometimes you do things to cope. Okay, sometimes you do things to get through and get by, but I just hope that that the world doesn't write Sha'Carri Richardson off. She's a great story, great athlete, and the best thing about life is you can learn from your mistakes and you can keep on going and keep moving forward. Well, fellas, from the looks of it, I think the NCAA has got it right because it says players can make money. Now, let me read two interesting part of this whole thing before we get too deep into it with our own views and opinions. All right. I got this once again from CBS Sports. Great source, by the way. The NCAA has approved a temporary policy to allow college athletes in all three divisions to get paid for the use of their name, image, and likeness, NIL, as BLive says, okay? The organization announced this past Wednesday, the new policy goes into effect on Thursday, which was July the 1st. The same day, the NIL laws are set to go into effect in 7 states and last until federal legislation is adopted or the NCAA develops permanent rules of its own. All right, and it says the interim policy will allow college athletes and recruits to make money off of activities like autograph signings, endorsements, personal appearances, as long as they are consistent with any applicable state laws where the athlete school is located. Athletes will be able to use professional service providers for such activities, and universities will be responsible for determining whether those activities are consistent with state law or not. And with that being said, fellas, Scotty, what's your take on the kids finally getting paid or finally getting paid?
Oh man, it's a big can of worms. I'm not sure. I've always thought that college kids probably deserved something, and I didn't like how others benefited from their likeness with them not making any money from it. Like on video games, that type of thing, or selling their jerseys without them making any money. It seems like people were getting rich off of them, and their payment was scholarship. I'm so torn because you watch the rich get richer off the backs of these young kids who were there for just a limited amount of time. But you see rookies in all professional sports struggle with suddenly being rich and making mistakes and that type of thing. And now you're given this opportunity to even younger kids. And, in some cases it's going to be success because they're going to make a little bit of money to help families. There's going to be kids that are going to be able to put a little bit of money back into their families' homes and that type of thing. Or, but I think there's more problems are going to come from this than good things are going to come from this. I don't know. I'm a little torn. Be Live, I know you're way more opinionated than I am when it comes to the college scene. What say you on this?
All right. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way very, very quickly. The next fool that put something on social media about, Dabo Swinney said he was going to quit when the college players start getting paid. What are you waiting for? Hold up. I need you to read and go back and watch the interview back when it happened. Dabo Swinney said he was going to quit when they made college sports professionalized, where the schools were paying the kids. That's not the case. They're making money off their name, image, and likeness, NIL. They're not being paid by the school. Dabo Swinney said he's all for this part. Being paid by the college would denigrate the integrity of the sport. This right here literally says, hey, if I'm able to get my name out there, I want to make some money off of it. I am all for this. They still keep their amateurism. It doesn't change the competition value. Now it's just a matter of, can I get my name out there? And so, yeah, this is wonderful for the sport. It just, honestly, it gives these kids a chance to make money off of something, just to make something off of their name. It really,
but at some point, don't you think some of these kids are gonna take the money and go and blow off their obligation to the school?
Who are we to say they can't?
Well, what I'm saying is, what they're going to do is blow future opportunities where they would have made more, because they're not going to be held in check with that.
Choice. That's an adult.
You're making
choice.
my argument for me. They're giving the opportunity to make more bad decisions by giving them money that they'd never have had before. And like I said, some will do the right thing with it, but this is going to cause some problems with some. When some, instead of going to classes, decide to throw the big beer bash at their house, and then the cops come and then they get arrested, and then underage girls were there and blah, blah, blah. Then the scandals erupt. That's going to come from them having more money and that type of thing. And it's going to happen. No question. And it's going to cost some kids their futures, because some of them are going to be labeled as bad kids or get into some kind of legal trouble that they're going to have a hard time getting out of. It's going to cost them money.
I want to make sure that I'm clear. I want to make sure that I'm catching your argument. You're telling me that this is a bad idea and we should restrict the choices of adults? Is that what you're saying? It sounds like you're saying that no, we shouldn't. They shouldn't.
I've already told you, kids that are rookies, that are older and other pro sports are already making bad decisions. Now you're giving younger kids in the college life, not even in a professional life, in a college atmosphere. I mean, I made bad decisions, and I was going to the ATM pulling $3 out to go to a beer party, and I was making bad decisions. I didn't have any money. I only had a few bucks. Now you're giving kids the opportunity to make some really bad mistakes. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm torn by it. Some will make some good decisions and help.
Scotty D is
this is going to be opening up some can of worms that we have not had.
He's the same person that supported the smoking age to go up from 18 to 21. You can fight for your country, but you can't smoke a cigarette. You've got to be kidding me. Come on, bro.
Who said that?
Your argument is that same argument right there. That they raised the smoking age to 21. Why did they do that? These are adults. You can fight for your country, but you can't smoke a cigarette. You can fight for your country, but you can't make money off your name if you're an NCAA student athlete.
You must have missed the part where I said you must have missed the part where I said that I think it's going to be good for some of them, but it's going to create problems. You don't think that this is going to create some problems?
So
It is going to create problems. It is going to encourage kids to shirk their responsibilities. It's going to cause kids to skip practices and games and stuff because they say, "What do I care? I already made my money." It's going to happen.
I think from the money man standpoint, he may be talking about. Well, he is talking about, mature versus immature. Because you got some mature kids, and you got some immature kids, and I think what Scotty D is saying, the immature kids will be causing a problem. Am I correct? Am I right or wrong, Scotty D?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my question is this. So you'd rather it not be in place so kids don't.
I didn't say that. I said I'm torn by the good and the bad of it. That's what I said.
So you have it. So you're skirting the fence.
Yeah, I'm skirting the fence. Yeah.
Yeah, terrible. Make a choice.
Well,
stand for something.
I choose to be on the fence. That's my choice.
If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. I'm all for it.
I choose to stand on the fence.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Eddie Cool Amtrak this thing.
You call me Humpty Dumpty. I saw you rolling around on the beach having a great fall. You call.
Hey. You know how you saw it because I released it. That's what I am.
I saw it.
Did you? Yeah. Hey, I fell. I stumbled and tumbled and boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom.
And all the king's horses and all the king's men were on the beach trying to put you back together again.
I'm telling you, I'm still torn up. I'm still falling apart. It's a terrible situation. Oh man, boy, low blow on that one, Scotty D.
But fellas, with that being said, it's not a terrible situation.
What is it?
What, baby? What, buddy?
Is that time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. And before I throw at the button, let us know what you think in the comment section, be it on the Facebook profile, the Facebook like page, the Sports Bros Family Group page, or right here on the YouTube channel. And with that being said, hey, yo, button, hit it.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Well, you heard the woman. It's that time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. I know I missed something. Once again, thank you to the wonderful and ever so Miss Button for introducing our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices segment. The reason I'm all over the place is because I'm so damn excited about this week's topic. And with that being said, Scotty D, what's the topic for this week's choices of the voices?
Well, we were going to discuss this week which baseball movie starring Kevin Costner we liked the best, and we went with Field of Dreams versus Bull Durham. And of course, a couple other people had to throw that other silly one that he was in, but that was not the question. The question was Field of Dreams versus Bull Durham, and we actually had a lot of responses on this one this week, Eddie. Cool.
We sure did. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into it, all right? The Hall of Famer, Uncle Max, he says, I would go with Field of Dreams. Not only is it a great adventure, but it also has an all-star cast.
It does, man. Burt Lancaster, Ray Liotta, James Earl Jones, Amy Madigan, a lot of good, a lot of people in there. It's funny seeing a young Ray Liotta come in as Shoeless Joe Jackson back early in his career. That's a guy who's been around. I mean, Ray Liotta, to me, I'm a big fan of Goodfellas. That's my all-time favorite movie, and he's always my guy from Goodfellas. But he had a small part that is Shoeless Joe. Great flick, Uncle Max. Good call.
Good choice. Terrible. Pete Talansky, he says, I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in the game here and say, For the Love of the Game is the best of his baseball movie trilogies. All right. Well, Field of Dreams a close second and Bull Durham the third. So we got the Kevin.
So Field of Dreams is his answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, my process of
two, that's the one he went with.
Yeah. Terrible Pete. Here we go. All right.
Oh, monkey wrench.
There it is. All right. We got Hot Rod, Ronnie Belby. He said, ooh, close call. I'm going Field of Dreams just because it has Darth Vader in it, aka James Earl Jones.
The most famous voice in the game.
Yes. This is the book that got Bubba cooked. You
You
remember that commercial he used to do?
Yeah.
It was a phone book commercial, something. Bubba was a fish.
Yep. And he's still here with us. Thank you, Lord. He's still here with us. All right. Trey Dizzle. Foolishness alert. Here we go. He said, Kevin Costner is and always be one of my favorite actors ever. I can't pick between his sports movies because they're all pretty good. No lies about that. But you know what isn't good? Dak Prescott's ability to read the defense and adjust to any pre-snap reads because he's too stupid to read. One day we're gonna put together a best of Trey Dizzle compilation because
I'm all for it. I am all for it. This is becoming a staple of the choice of the voices. How can Trey Dizzle insult Dak Prescott?
And we're only weeks away from NFL training camps getting started. He's going to be really intolerable this year because Dak is back and richer than ever.
$160 million.
I was about to say, B-Live, you got to remind him. I knew he was going to kick it in there sooner.
With $127 million guaranteed money.
Put it in my hand right now.
Ooh, Johnny Manziel has been replaced by Dak Prescott, Mr. Football.
Dak Dollars. Dak Dollars.
Yeah.
Dak money dollars. Oh, I better find the dump button because I can tell by the look on Scotty D's face. Let me show the world how you looking and feeling right now. Let me.
Oh man.
He'll probably win the Super Bowl this year.
Money. Are they gonna go 17-0 this year, sir?
There's a good chance of it, probably.
17.
Don't start this mess. Jason Weisberg, he said both great movies for different reasons. Field of Dreams evokes the cerebral and emotional reasons why so many are drawn to the love of the game. Bull Durham is a funny movie that uses the game as the vehicle. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good there, Jason. Cerebral.
He evokes the cerebral.
It evokes the
cerebral. And emotional. I felt that. Like
little James Jones there.
I had to change my voice for that one. Yeah.
But he is right about how like Field of Dreams, as much as the movie's about building the field and they will come, it does delve into like the emotional part of father and son relationship and how it's, baseball is a big part of that. So that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Did he actually pick one though?
No, he did not.
No.
He said both are good for me. Hey,
he's on the fence. He's on the fence.
Oh,
nothing wrong with that.
Is that the title of the show? On the Fence?
Nothing wrong with being on the fence.
Oh man, Jason, when that time comes and I become super famous, I would like for you to write my biography because I feel like he's gonna make me even bigger and better than I ever was. I'm gonna read this book like, is this about me?
It's a classic case of talk me up, but I'm gonna need you in them big old words to help talk me up even more. All right, we got Tracy Clance. What's up, Tracy? Bull Durham for me, 1000%. It was so funny and light, and he was awesome in this movie. Plus, Susan Sarandon cracked me up. Field of Dreams was the only movie I've ever got up and walked out of.
Wow.
Wow. We got to walk out. We got a runner. She's a runner. She's a track star. Not really sure why I didn't like it, but it just wasn't for me. Well, Tracy, you know what? Don't feel bad because everything ain't for everybody.
True.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And so by default, it is Bull Durham 1000%. All right. Oh, that's the title of the episode. 1000% on the fence. Yes, I made a funny. Haha. All right. Mary Ellen Bessett Minor, she said, I love both, but I can do without all the sex scenes and vulgar language in Bull Durham. Has some cussing in it, right? All right, can't watch most of it with the kiddos. I would highly recommend you not. I feel that there are a lot of 80s movies with superfluous. Is that the word? Superfluous? Anyway,
superfluous.
Yeah.
Superfluous.
With superfluous sex scenes, which means a whole lot. Anyways, guess it was the time period. Yes, Mary Ellen, that was the 80s and even parts of the 90s. You can get with a lot of stuff. Try that now. Okay, try that now. They'll have you make an OnlyFans account and have you put that on there just to show it.
The old cancel culture.
Yeah,
man.
Good old cancel culture. Yeah, the hell with them too. But so she's picking from the looks of it, Field of Dreams by default because Bull Durham was just too nasty.
Well, a little racy for the youngins. I get that.
Just want to give a quick shout out to my classmate, class of 2000, Mary Ellen. Love you.
Number love for you.
Once a chief, always a chief, baby. Let's get it.
To the day I DIE. Be live. Guess who's next?
Sports Mama. Yes.
Mama live.
Yes,
Mama
sir.
live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you want some more of them pillows, y'all better get in contact with her because I still use mine to this very day. All right. She picked Field of the Dreams because anything is possible if you believe. Vanilla for me. Talk about the ice cream.
Oh yeah, I had the little ice cream side conversation going with all that. But thanks, Mama Live, for the Field of Dreams vote. I like that because anything is possible.
Yep, literally.
Oh yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
They will.
Love you, Mom.
All right. Coming up next, we got Jim Henson, not the Muppet Man. He says Bull Durham with a group of friends and Field of Dreams if I'm by myself. Yes, to piggyback off of Mary Ellen's post, that's how you do it. Bull Durham with the boys, Field of Dreams with the family. So
I guess that kind of goes with the old tearjerker thing is what I think he's getting at there.
Yeah.
You know, got something in my eye watching Field of Dreams. Yeah.
Who cut onions? Who cut onions
here?
Yeah. So we got Scott Heineman. He said they are both too good to pick just one. So that's
okay.
3 on the fence. Okay, I understand it, man. Sometimes it's tough,
on the
man.
fence.
It's tough. Thomas Ortiz, he said both great movies, but For the Love of the Game is my all-time favorite. Can y'all not re-listen? All right, here we
Penalty
go.
box.
Right. Good Lord. What is going on?
It's my favorite all time. He said Billy Chappell pitches a no-hitter to end his career on his terms. Come on, man. You know, okay, but that was not one of the 2 choices. Now, was it? Of the voices. But you know what? It's still worth a mention. Samantha Tanner, 2 words, Bull Durham, all right? Melanie Cleese, she said Field of Dreams for sure. Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? Tearjerker. What's that water? Yeah, onions. All right. And Jody, how do you pronounce the last name? Because I do not want to butcher. Jody Schwantz. Okay, Jody Schwantz. I do not want to butcher your name. She says there's no way to pick, but I lean towards Field of Dreams only because I have the idea, only because I love the idea of it all. Yep. We had a pretty good turnout this week for the choices.
Did we count? Did we get a count of which one was picked most? It sounds like Field of Dreams was picked most, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the consensus might be Field of Dreams. Yep. So
with that being said, Be Live, who did you pick? What movie did you pick? Bull Durham or The Field of Dreams?
This was too easy. The reason why is because I'm not a tearjerker, emotional type of person. Give me the realism and the tobacco chewing and spitting and talking trash that came with Bull Durham. And of course, Durham, North Carolina is only about an hour and a half away from me. And this story is about the Durham Bulls. And I've actually had a chance to go see a Durham Bulls game. And man, it's every bit is encapsulated in this movie, and just the storyline and every bit of it. Bull Durham was definitely a win for me. Field of Dreams was eerie for me. It really was. It had its tearjerkers, but it was eerie. You got ghosts walking in a cornfield, and if you build it, they'll come. What do you mean? If you build it, they will come. If I'm building something, I don't want ghosts.
Especially when your mortgage is due.
Right.
Yeah. They about to foreclose on him. He's like, I'll just go build a baseball field.
No big. I'll just go build a baseball field in the middle of the corn.
Oh man, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So in this moment of time, my mother was wrong. But it's okay. And I'm saying it on the air. You're wrong. But it's like, I get it. You might get it all in your feels and your emotions, and that may be how you operate. But I also want to take this moment of time because my mom, she's still doing the pillows, but she's also embarked in another business as well, where she does designer jewelry. So at any point in time, I want our Facebook listeners or YouTube, if you go to our Facebook page, is Unique Designs and More. UNIQ, Unique Designs and More. And I'm telling you, the jewelry is beautiful. It is very beautiful. I've seen her in action doing it. And I'm like, Mom, you're on to something. So I definitely want to promote that. And as one of the voices out there. And anything I also want to do this for everybody that listens to our show and everything. That's something that we want to do. We want to promote what you do as well. Like, it's one of those things we want all of us to grow and come up. So that's something that I want to definitely start doing. If there's something that you really believe in, hey, the sports bros will build it and they will come. Yes, sir. You like that? You got
I like that.
in there.
I like that.
All the way into that one. Scotty D, did I ask you yet?
No, but I'll tell you. But I just wanted to say also, I bought a couple pillows from B Live's mom a few years ago, and they were very well done. They were very nice, and I appreciated it. And she was very sweet. I met her and talked to her for a moment. She told me how B Live was adopted, and so moving on to my choice. Moving on to my choice. Oh, was I not supposed to shit?
See, okay,
anyway.
Okay. You know what? No, you didn't did it. You didn't did it. See, I'm not adopted. My mom was just sleeping with the mailman. That's what happened. My mom was sleeping with the mailman.
Oh, wow.
So that's what happened. Now we on the air in our dirty laundry. No, actually, my mom was sleep. My mom was sleeping with the mailman. My dad retired from the post office for 38 years.
Very good. Very good.
That's always been a running joke in our family.
I was like, wow, I was really uncomfortable with that joke. Very uncomfortable with that joke. I was like, wow. So, okay, good.
Never
Happy
gonna
ending.
listen to another episode. It's over with. She gonna be like the Help the Sports Bros podcast. Be Live telling family business.
Man,
cutting up. Scotty D, which movie did you like?
All right, I'm not gonna make any more family jokes. I'm starting going down a dark road there. But anyway, I'm with you, B Live. Bull Durham. I love because a big part of it, aside from the love triangle, a big part of it was actually about minor league baseball, which I really, I can appreciate, because you see a lot of movies and stuff about major league, but here was actually a character as Crash Davis, who was a lifer in the minors, and he mentioned how he had a cup of coffee at the big leagues and how much that meant to him. Like, I think he said it was like the best time of his life when he was up there in his short stay at the major league level. But the relationship that he had with Tim Robbins, the Nuke Lelouch character, I loved that, where he was like, he took him under his wing, and he was trying to, his role at that point wasn't to get to the majors himself, but to help this young guy become a better pitcher and get to the major league level. And then he got called up, and it was a bittersweet moment where these guys were starting to have chemistry and get real close, and boom, Nuke's off to fulfill his dreams while Crash Davis is left to try to become the all-time minor league home run king, which is not something that anybody strives to be. But that's kind of where I was. I like the actual story regarding the minor leagues and that stuff, because I'm a baseball fan for life. So that part of it. I love Field of Dreams. And especially like we talked earlier about the part with the the relationship of him throwing catch with his dad. That was pretty cool. It was eerie too, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, and just more humor in Bull Durham. Bunch of guys in the dugout. That's the call for me. What about you, Eddie?
I'm going to have to go with Field of Dreams, and don't kick my behind, fellas, but I have never seen Bull Durham. I read about it, heard about it. I know things.
You had a whole week. You had a week, and you missed your assignment.
Oh, I was trying to find it, but I couldn't really find it. Hey man, I was trying to work, cook hot dogs on the grill, make sure the house was good, but everything was smooth and dandy. But with that being said, I'm gonna have to check out some good old Bull Durham, because it's more reality based. For me, it would have to be Field of Dreams, because if you build it, they will come. First of all, if anything whispering to me talking about if you build something, they gonna come in the middle of a cornfield, I'm gonna kind of have questions about it too. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we building a baseball field in the middle? Like you go through the cornfield and there's lights, and there's Babe Ruth, and there's Shoeless Joe Jackson, and then it's like a trip in baseball heaven, if you will.
And they wouldn't let him in.
And they would
try to go in.
Yep, and they would not let him in.
It was private.
There was like private party, bro.
You can't come, Ray.
Seats taken. Yeah, you got to stay on this. Yeah, you got to stay on this side of the velvet rope. But just to kind of see, like, it was kind of weird, kind of creepy. But I was like, as a young kid, I was on the TV like, Oh, this what it really had my attention. Really had my attention. So I'm gonna have to say Field of Dreams, because it was an inspiration for this podcast, because it said, Eddie, if you make it, they gonna listen.
Nice.
And now here,
I hope they are.
They better be listening. They better be listening. As by these choices of the voices, they better be listening. What you got to say, B-Line?
Oh, I just want to say that I applaud Scotty D's love for minor league baseball, because I mean the Pittsburgh Pirates might as well be a minor league team.
Oh
So
man, I can't fight you. I can't fight you on that one. I got nothing.
They're running with the same payroll.
Yeah. Two All-Stars though. I'll talk about that later. Two All-Stars.
Shoot, two All-Stars and two first base gas in less than a week, right?
Oh yeah, the first. Oh yeah.
Scotty, I'm not gonna do it to you, because I can hear your stomach tumbling all the way over here, and I need you for the rest of the show. I need you for the rest of the podcast. And with that being said, I want to give a big shout out to Uncle Max, Terrible Pete. Who else is on this list here? Hot Rod, Rodney Bellamy, Trey Dizzle, Jason Weisberg, Tracy, Mary Ellen, Mama Myrtle Strickland, Jim Hansen, not the Muppet Man. All right, Scott Heinerman, Thomas Ortiz, Samantha Tanner, Melanie Cleach, and Jody Schrantz. Yes, I got it right on the second try, for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Money Man, what's on tap for next week, buddy?
Oh yeah. Okay. So
we keep it
he wasn't ready.
I was ready for Pepper. But before we move on to that, let's see. We're going to talk next week about, I'm going to ask you all, what is your favorite summer Olympic event to watch? What are you most looking forward to with the Olympics coming up? Wide variety of stuff. Let's keep it just to the summer since we're on topic here, but favorite Olympic event to watch. What are you most looking forward to? Olympics just around the corner here in a few weeks. And Eddie, that next week will give us something to talk about.
Boom, 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 boom. That's how it goes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Now, I'm actually, you know what I'm most excited about for next week is how is Trey Dizzle going to somehow play in Dak Prescott?
Work Dak Prescott's futility into the Olympics.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get out here, Choice of the Voices, we want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming through every week. Button ain't lying. This is our favorite portion of the show. Also, you can find the Choices of the Voices playlist. That's right, on our YouTube channel. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to leave a comment, leave it in the comment section and give Trey Dizzle some ideas of how to some way throw the proverbial monkey wrench in Choices of the Voices. It has to have Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. If it's something silly, we don't want to hear it, but it has to involve Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Matter of fact, Trey Dizzle might not need your help, but some assistance for the foolishness, yeah, we all here for it. But yeah, check us out.
Sprinkling a little Tony Romo in there too.
Oh yeah, Tony Romo, yeah. Tony Romo, Eastern Illinois, and all that good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We'll see you next week for Choices of the Voices.
What instrument are you playing there?
Whatever instrument makes that damn sound for me to memorize that all these years later. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. And I am not a trained musician. Bye. See y'all next week. Choices of the Voices.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
Well, you heard the woman. It's time to go home and get the hell up out of here. But before we go, we got to sprinkle a little pepper on the game. You know what I'm saying? A little, how was it, Salt Bay? Or this Pepper Bay right here. You know what I'm saying? We got to throw a little bit of pepper on the game. Yes, that's right, B-Live. There you go. Turn it, that hand crank. What is it that called? The crack. May I get some cracked black pepper, please? Use the one in the shaker. Make me do all this extra work for nothing. But that's neither here nor there. All right, we got 3 topics for you. Rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. We're here to engage, educate, enlighten, and entertain. And with that being said, I'll go first. All right. In this day in history, back in 1992, Wimbledon. That's right. Wimbledon is going on right now. Men's tennis. American Andre Agassi wins his first of 8 Grand Slam singles titles by beating Goran Ivanisevic of Croatia 6-7, 6-4, 6-4, 1-6, 6-4. That's when Andre actually had the hair. He was looking like a hybrid cross between Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Like, yeah. but he had it going on, man. He's one of the best to ever do it. Over to you, Scotty D.
All right, so just last week, the NHL announced their year-end awards. The Hart Memorial Trophy for the most valuable player went to Connor McDavid from Edmonton. That's the second time he won that. But the one that caught my eye the most, guys, was the Vezina Trophy for the best goaltender, and that went to Marc-Andre Fleury, his first such trophy in 17 years, 17 seasons. That was the first time he received that award. And it's interesting, guys, because as the goaltender of Vegas, he didn't have such a great ending this past season. They have another capable goalie by the name of Robin Lerner, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was in goal for their final game of the season. Fleury is in the final year, coming up with the final year of his contract, and I think there's a chance that they could move him to save a little salary cap space. And like I said, they already have another capable goalie. Could maybe he be headed back to Pittsburgh? He has a no trade clause for like 10 teams, so he would have some say in that. But I know the fans of Pittsburgh, he still has a very special place in their heart. So regardless of where he plays next season, the guy has 3 Stanley Cups with the Penguins and a place in our hearts here in Pittsburgh. And congratulations to Marc-Andre Fleury for winning that Vezina Trophy. Be Live, over to you.
All right. Earlier in this episode, we spoke about the name, image, and likeness in the NCAA players, student athletes being allowed to be paid. Well,
I'm on the fence.
Yep, you're on the fence. Well, one particular student athlete took advantage of that very quickly, and he goes by the name of Percy Miller. Now, why would that name sound familiar? He is the son of Master P, Percy Miller. So Percy Miller, Master P, named his sons. He has 2 sons, by the way. He named them Hercy, Hercy, and Mercy, Mercy.
Stop it. No, he did.
Yes, he did. Hercy, and Mercy.
No lies.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I'm coming with it. I'm coming with it on Pepper. I'm gonna come with something.
Oh, so famous people.
So he signs a $2 million endorsement deal with Web Apps America. He will serve as a brand ambassador for the technology company, which focuses. Yep. Yeah, y'all heard that. Focuses on web, mobile, and augmented reality development. So the rich just get richer, and he's already making his money as a freshman at Tennessee State University in Nashville. Go Soldiers. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Full on the current, let us go to platinum tank. Y'all at the big things. I'm sorry, I had a 1997 moment there for a second. Nah. All right. Oh man, got off track there for a second, but my second paper point, I'm going to talk about Chad Johnson. Yes, Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, one of the best to ever do it in the National Football League. He played for the Bengals, had a short stint with the Patriots, was around for a cup of coffee at the Miami Dolphins, so forth and so such. Chad Johnson is such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy as to where he left he did that too. I'm gonna leave it in there. He left a $1,000 tip. Okay, that's why I got tongue tied. That's a lot of damn money he left. All right, he left a $1,000 tip at an IHOP in Portland, Oregon. All right, so here's a story according to the New York Post. On a $107.17 tab at James Harden's Houston restaurant, 13 Houston. All right, in May, he left another $1,000 tip. And guess how much the bill was, fellas?
How much was it?
$4.28. Yep.
God be doggone it.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Whew.
Yep. This time at one of Houston's most noble restaurants, the Turkey Leg Hut. Yeah, the Turkey Leg Hut according to the New York Post. And Chad Johnson said,
"What are they selling for $4?"
That sound like that may be one turkey leg.
That might be
maybe just went up there one.
I don't know, man. That sounds like a side of like loaded mashed potatoes. All depends on where you go.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
$1,000 loaded mashed potatoes. Hey,
wow.
Appreciate you. I don't even work in a restaurant anymore, but let's see. I do karaoke from time to time. You might want to catch your boy doing karaoke Club Halo. You can throw in $1,000 tip.
Drop something in the bucket
here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. 2-6. All right. I'm just saying.
All right. Chad Johnson said, it's just something I always do, regardless of where I am, regardless of what restaurant or the service. I always take care of those who are serving me, Johnson said to New York Post. Chad Johnson, I'm about to jump into your DMs, buddy, because I got one particular restaurant where you need to go to. I need to be on the shift. Help a brother out. I'm trying to get some stuff to happen, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, shout out to Chad Johnson. I guess he hears the closing of the show every week about do something nice for yourself. And if you can do something nice for someone else, they're greatly appreciated, because if you leave me $1,300, hey, I'm done. I'll see y'all next week. I'm out. Over to you, Scotty D.
Thumbs up to Chad Johnson for that story. I love hearing stuff like that when servers at restaurants get hit with a big tip like that. I love hearing that kind of stuff. So last week, just as we were closing the show, it came up online that the UFC was going to do an interim heavyweight championship between Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane, which makes not a lot of sense considering that Francis Ngannou just won this heavyweight championship in March when he knocked off Stipe Miocic. So since then, he's done a little bit of traveling, taking a little time off, and just got back into the United States in June and wanted to fight in September, but the UFC wanted him to fight as the headliner of the August 7th card. They wanted to have a heavyweight championship fight in August 7th. So the John Jones thing fell apart a while ago. It was supposed to be Francis Ngannou defending against Derek Lewis. And now, for some reason, that negotiation fell apart with Dana White. He wanted to have an interim heavyweight championship. So he's adding Cyril Gane, who just had a win 2 weeks ago. And it's got a lot of people upset because during the whole pandemic time, whenever the heavyweight championship was kind of held up, Miocic didn't defend it, and Ngannou didn't get an interim championship opportunity. He sat patiently and waited until his next opportunity came. So I'm not sure if there's a personal thing between his management team and Dana White. Anyway, there's definitely some friction going on because this is pretty much a meaningless fight if you're going to call it a heavyweight championship. What it actually is a number one contenders fight, because whoever wins this, regardless, is going to have to face Ngannou to determine who the real heavyweight is. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen in August or September. That's going to be a few months down the road. But anyway, there's another mess with the UFC. It seems like more of these guys are challenging Dana White. They're financially unhappy, and now this caused a little bit of unhappiness. However, this Saturday coming up, we will see Dustin Poirier against Conor McGregor for the third time. And that, my friends, is a fight worth watching. And there's a couple other good fights on that card. So tune in. UFC, I love watching these UFC cards. And we got another pay-per-view coming up this weekend. So something to keep your eye on there. Be live. Over to you.
I will be tuning in this Saturday. UFC. Gas to have it.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to switch over. We're going to go back to talk about a little bit of baseball. And we got a real life Field of Dreams situational right now when it comes to the likes of Shohei Ohtani.
Be live. Can I do a Japanese? Be live. I hate to interrupt you, but can I introduce him like the Japanese do their athletes and wrestlers overseas? Can I do it?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Ohtani Shohei.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's you got the surname is more important in the Japanese culture. So he is the first player in the 100+ year history of the All-Star game, Major League Baseball All-Star game, to be selected as a pitcher and a position player. Because not only has Shohei Ohtani dazzled on the mound, he also leads the league in home runs with 31. 31. Can you believe that? A pitcher with 31 home runs leads the league. So he's been selected as a pitcher on the All-Star team, and the fans selected him as the designated hitter for the American League. So, man, oh man, Shohei Ohtani is doing his thing. Shout out to him. And on top of that, it looks like he's also going to participate in the home run derby. So, man, and that's the part that I always watch when it comes to All-Star Weekend, the home run derby. I'm still a little upset that it's not in Atlanta. It is in Colorado in Coors Field. Ain't gonna talk about that, but yeah, Eddie Cool, I'm gonna throw you a curveball. The ball.
It's out of here. You say it's in Colorado, so it's very, very high up in the air. If you know. All right, my third and final pepper point. I'm going to be talking about one of the best players in the world in the NBA, Kevin Durant. Now, you remember a while back when I told you when Uncle Eddie made a video about keeping things to yourself and not, of how not to step in the same cow patty twice. I wish Kevin Durant would have listened to it, all right? Because KD, he spent his 4th of July on Twitter battling trolls about his decision to go to Golden State. Now, this is 5 years ago, right? In the words of the kids, why you got to bring up old-ish for? Why you got to bring up old stuff for, right? See, trolls serve no purpose on Twitter. And it goes with something like this. So this dude said, KD's still out here defending his Warriors move. At KD trade 5, give it up. And then he come back and says, it's man's out here still offended. Let it go. You see, you got to learn to not pay these people any attention. If I was Kevin Durant, I wouldn't pay any of these Twitter trolls any attention because let's not forget, a few years ago, this is the same guy that had burner accounts, all right?
Yeah.
Clapping back at people, all right? It's the classic case of just because if somebody says something, it doesn't mean you have to respond to it. I wish I had Kevin Durant money. You think I'm worrying about these fools on Twitter? I'm telling people, hey man, run my Twitter account for me. The sky is blue and I like my eggs over easy. And that's it. That's it. That's it. I'm not getting into no fights and fracasses over trolls. This dude, let me go look at his avatar right quick. It's a dog. Okay, it's a dog. And and KD's is little big kid from the Sandlot. His name escapes me at the time. So you mean to tell me a guy that's verified is talking to a guy that ain't verified? What are we doing? Anyways, over to you, Scotty D. This is stupid.
Stupid. Dog avatar, huh? All right, we have heard the cliche term over and over again that Father Time is undefeated, and I hate to see this, but last week at Wimbledon, Serena Williams got hurt in the first set of her match and withdrew from the tournament. She was actually leading 3-1 in the first set, but I think she suffered a leg injury. I think it was her left ankle. She already had a leg wrapped up when she came out. But Serena Williams is now 39 years old, and her last major championship win was in 2017 at the Australian Open. She has 23 majors, and she's arguably the greatest women's tennis player of all time. And at this point, I'm ready to see her retire because I don't want to see the great ones just go out there and start losing and get helped off the court over and over. She's already announced she's not going to compete in the Olympics. And I'm not saying this to be critical or mean, but Serena Williams is a little bit bigger. And I think it's going to be harder for that body to, at age 39 and older, to sustain, the type of rigors of winning a Grand Slam championship. She has nothing to prove, man. I say she's the greatest women's tennis player of all time, if not the greatest women's athlete of all time, and does a lot of other things, charity work and businesses. I mean, she's highly intelligent. She's beautiful, a lot going for her. And I don't like seeing fighters at the end of their career go out and lose over and over again. And I certainly don't want to see that of Serena Williams either. So I don't know if this is the last time we'll see her, but we got to be getting close to the end of her career. And, I'm ready to see one of the great athletes of our generation call it a day and move on and on to bigger, better things. I remember when Derek Jeter retired, he said, yesterday I was an old man. I retired. Today I'm a young man. 39 years old. You're young. So, best of luck to Serena. Hopefully her ankle heals up here quickly, and if she does want to get back, she's back to it quickly. But could be the end of the line for Serena Williams. Be live. Over to you, my friend.
Well, with Serena Williams, she's one away though. She's one away from tying Margaret Court for the most Grand Slam singles titles. So she's trying to trace. She probably is. But I agree. She will go down as the greatest of all time, even without that. The way she's dominated the sport in this day and age.
If she never wins another set, she's already the greatest of all time,
without question.
But yeah, speaking of the greatest of all time, let's talk about the greatest hair of all time and getting paid. I just like it. The greatest hair of all time. And that is by
you, Eddie
my
Cool?
Man. No. Nobody else but my man, Trevor Lawrence. All roads lead to Dabo. You see it.
What you talking about? Proceed, Be Live. I'm sorry. We didn't mean to.
My man, 50 grand. Trevor Lawrence inks his rookie deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars in a tune of $36.8 million. So my man is getting paid. He's in the NFL #1 draft pick. I'm waiting to see big things from him. But at this point in time, something near and dear to all of our hearts here at the Sports Bros podcast, I'm going to throw in a little extra pepper when it comes to my man, one of the greats, and announcing commentary, Marv Albert. After a 55-year-long reign in color commentary and sports announcing, he is calling it quits. He is calling it a career.
Wow.
55 years. And his voice is synonymous with NBA basketball. It's just like you know it when you hear it, and it's just the excitement that he brings to the game is second to none. So, fellas, Marv Albert, what your thoughts?
Marv Albert here at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, as we see the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Detroit Pistons. Hello, this is Marv Albert here. I'm here with somebody. Marv Albert is an icon, legend, a very iconic voice, one of the best to ever do it. And it's going to be very weird to listen to these telecasts next year and be without Marv Albert roaming the sidelines, going yes every 3.5 seconds. When Vince Scully retired, it was a little different, watching Dodgers games and highlights and not hearing him there. And then, 50. Well, how long?
Doc Emmerich. We lost Doc Emmerich there. Out this year in the playoffs.
Yeah, Doc Emmerich taught us about exaltations. Okay, he taught us a very big.
Yeah,
word.
That's right. Yeah.
So the doctor is a teacher. He got a man. I think he's a doctor in communications. But anyways, shout out to Marv Albert, man. Thank you for years. I remember watching the NBA. It was the NBA on NBC. Three things that were synonymous with basketball, like during the 90s. The NBA on NBC, the theme song. Marv Albert here at the Summit in Houston, Texas. Game 5 of the NBA playoff. Marv Albert, man. Despite his past, but everybody got a pass. Who don't? But
he had a bump in the road.
Yeah, a little bump in the road. But he's pretty much like shaking it off. But yeah. Marv Albert.
He did.
Absolutely.
And that just shows how much people really liked listening to him, how much people cared about him, because he did have that little bump in the road, and then he quietly and professionally made his way back to it and finished his career on TNT these last few years. And yeah, his voice, especially back during Michael Jordan's era, all the Bulls finals, you hear Marv Albert's voice, or the playoff games, the iconic moments of Jordan, and Marv Albert's one doing it. So, yeah, 55 years. I loved what he said the other night, that whenever he was signing off, he said, "I wish I could start all over again." He just showed you the emotion he had, how much he appreciated. And they showed some of the photographs they had of him through the years with different athletes and on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. What a historic path he paved. So, yeah, I'll miss him. I loved hearing him on TNT. The last several years, he was basketball. He was part of the soundtrack of basketball. So, best of luck to Marv Albert.
Oh man, and only way to end Marv Albert's career. Yes, and it counts, man.
Basket and the foul.
Man, oh man, Marv Albert, iconic, and it is my bucket list to be able to just give me one time. ESPN, TNT, give me one time just to announce a game. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have to stop saying foolish things first. So we have some work to do. We have some work to do, and you might get your chance. You might get your chance.
Wow. I'm gonna be.
You have to stop being arrogant. You have to stop being arrogant and ageist.
Of arrogance.
But you did not say anything nasty to Uncle Max on this episode, so there's a start. You're on the way.
Pass the ball, Kobe.
All right, fellas, everybody got their pepper points in?
Oh, yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see us on a big view. I'm here, Scotty D's on this side of me, B-Lives right there on the bottom of the box, and we are the Sports Bros Podcast, and we want to thank you for tuning in and listening on various podcast avenues. Also, we want to thank you for watching us as well, too, on our YouTube channel. I hadn't forgot, y'all. I got the pepper from last episode. It'll be up sometime soon. But either ways, that's neither here nor there. Thanks for watching us, listening, viewing. If you got anything you want us to talk about, let us know. We all over the place. Instagram, Twitter. We got a Facebook like page, Facebook group. I still do my writing on Key Sports Media Group online. Very great stuff. Scotty D still looking crazy. B-Live does some funny commentary on TikTok as well too. And who knows? We just might start a Sports Wars podcast TikTok, but we don't know. It's still up in the air. All right, fellas. Anything you got to say before we get the hell up out of here and watch a whole episode of Monday Night Raw?
I just want to say congratulations to my favorite baseball team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They snapped yet another 6-game losing streak the other night. So congratulations on only losing 3 out of 4 this weekend to the Brewers. So yet another lengthy losing streak snapped. Congratulations, Buccos. You're having a great season.
What's the record, Scott?
30 and 53, I believe.
a little wins, a lot of losses.
Yeah, it's not good. We're looking to the future.
Yep. Anything you got to say before we get the hell up out of here, B-Live?
Hey, check me out. What Happened commentary, B-Live videos, Extra Pepper. I'm trying to bring some new energy to it. Extra Pepper is a new segment that I'm trying to do. They took my video off last week because I may have stolen it, but
Creative Commons, you borrowed it, okay?
Yeah. So check me out on TikTok as well. I'm trying to do some things on there if they'll allow me to. But yeah, shout out to the Sports Mama, Unique Designs and More. Once again, want to give a quick shout out to her and support her business and everything. Check it out. And let's go watch some Monday Night Raw.
And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it. Now, more than ever. Just ask that girl that got that big old $1,000 tip by Chad Ochocinco. In the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night. And as always, thank you for watching and listening to the Sports Bros Podcast. See, I ain't got this thing figured out yet.
Uncle Max, I'm coming to Myrtle Beach. I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
I'll see you, Myrtle Beach. I'm coming.
Bang!
You're going to be invaded by the money man. Bang! Goodbye. Good night. Y'all take care. Be safe. Hope you got all your fingers from them fireworks because, take care of yourself. Bye. Be live. I get a yes, sir? I get a yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes.